but Patrick Mahomes did not get to a Super Bowl his first year as a starting quarterback in the National Football League. And I know the Chiefs have looked vulnerable the last couple of years, but yet they were world champions anyway. So I hear you, Chris Canty, what you had to say in terms of now they got Xavier Worthy, speed on the outside. Hollywood Brown, when he comes back from his injury, more speed in the outside to go with Rashid Rice as well as Travis Kelce. But I go back to the first couple of years that he was a starting quarterback. That was as great of an offense that the NFL has seen in a long, long time. So I'm going to say, no, I do not agree with Chris Canty that this could be the best iteration of Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid together of the Kansas City Chiefs that we've seen since these two have been together.
Yeah, I will agree with Canty. I mean, if there were ever a year where they weren't going to win the Super Bowl, it should have been last year. Had to go on the road in the playoffs. I mean, this was the thing that people said Mahomes can't do, can't win on the road, and yet he did. Ends up with another ring, and now you give him a bunch of weapons. Xavier Worthy, fastest combine time ever. Hollywood Brown, to your point, will be back at some point. If you tell me Mahomes is going to have all that speed and Travis Kelce just gets to kind of go wherever he wants on the field because you can't defend that speed and a guy like Kelce, I think there's definitely a chance for this to be the best version of Kansas City that we've seen.
Doing a little AFC West in terms of Devin Kane's questions and answers from Freddie and Meyer Metcalf, part of Freddie and Harry. Thanks for joining us on ESPN Radio, the ESPN app, SiriusXM Channel 80. And don't forget about us on TuneIn. Always tell your smart speaker to play ESPN Radio. We've done the Chargers and we've done the Chiefs. Devin, who's next?
All right, Myron. Were people always sleeping on Bo Nix in this rookie quarterback class? And where can he stack up amongst this group?
I mean, I don't know that it was sleeping. I just don't think people saw a lot of growth necessarily. I mean, we saw a lot of Bo Nix in college, and there weren't enough moments, I don't think, where you said, wow, that dude is a star. And I think I would caution against taking some preseason action and saying he's the next guy. He's definitely going to be a good quarterback in this league because I still think there's a lot that he has to prove. So I don't think it was sleeping on Bo Nix. I think it was seeing the results and going, I don't see someone who's making the leap to make me feel like he's going to be an NFL standout.
Yeah, he had 45 touchdown passes last year, only 3 interceptions playing for the Oregon Ducks. He was magnificent, the way he's able to make play after play after play. So, yeah, I'm with mine in terms of sleeping on him, but I'm also going to caution with this. Sean Payton has found a quarterback that can do what he wants and make it work offensively. He wanted a more athletic Drew Brees in this day and age. Well, he may have found that guy, even though Drew Brees was underrated athletically. I mean, this guy could dunk over a crossbar when it comes to Drew Brees. Check out, Google that. Drew Brees dunking over a crossbar. And by the way, you're welcome. So he's found a guy that can make those plays outside the pocket. He wants to kind of run his New Orleans Saints system with a quarterback that can do those RPOs, those read pass options, where he can get out on the outside and throw those bootleg passes. He doesn't have to just be a pocket quarterback. So I'm not going to put him above Caleb Williams. I'm not going to put him above Jaden Daniels, But the way that Sean Payton wants to run his offense, this team won 9 games last year. If they can get 9 wins with a rookie quarterback like that, that could be set of the Denver Broncos to be a worthwhile challenge to the Kansas City Chiefs further and further down the line of the 2024.
All right, Freddie, with the Raiders, projecting ahead, could you see the Raiders as being a potential fit for Dak Prescott next season in his free agent year if it gets that far?
Absolutely. I can see that because the starting quarterback for the Raiders in 2025 is not on their roster right now. I know Gardner Minshew was tabbed as QB1, the starting quarterback, at the beginning of the season. It wouldn't surprise me Aiden O'Connell and get some playing time at a certain point because I still don't know if Gardner Minshew is going to be enough of an answer for the new Raiders under Antonio Pierce. So whoever their starting quarterback is going to be next year, that dude is not on their roster this year. And if it's not going to be Dak Prescott, they'll draft somebody else because there's a guy they'll call Carson Beck of Georgia. That if he plays anywhere near what I saw last year, that guy's going to be a first-round pick. He's going to be somebody that people want, and he's going to be somebody that fits the Raiders quite well. So, yeah, I can see Dak Prescott being there, but honestly, I can see anybody not named Gardner Minshew or Aiden O'Connell as a starting quarterback next year for the Las Vegas Raiders.
You know, I mean, on paper, I could see it because obviously they'd offer him a ton of money, Vegas, the spotlight, but practically, I just don't see it. I mean, the last guy that tried to go into Patrick Mahomes' division ended up in Pittsburgh playing So You Think You Can Dance, the quarterback edition, and Russell Wilson, right? So I think if you're Dak Prescott, there's no reason for you to go to the AFC and try to battle Lamar and Josh Allen and all those guys. And there's certainly no reason for you to go to Patrick Mahomes' division. You are much safer in Dallas in the NFC East.
I don't doubt that, but if they're going to throw $65, $70 million at you, cha-ching, Las Vegas, no slot machines in the Venetian and Bellagio. I mean, at least he doesn't have to do what Ocean's 11 did. He doesn't have to rip off, he doesn't have to rip off somebody and rip off a casino to get that kind of money when it comes to Dak Prescott. That could change a lot of minds. I hear you on that with Dak Prescott, though. I do hear you. He's Myron Metcalf, and for Harry Douglas, I'm Freddie Coleman. Thanks for joining us on Freddie and Harry on ESPN Radio, the ESPN app, and Sirius XM Channel 80. And speaking of the aforementioned Dakota Prescott, Jerry Jones loves to talk, especially when it comes to contract talks involving him, meaning Dak Prescott, and also CeeDee Lamb. Well, according to Jerry Jones, again, we're just continuing to talk. The thing is there, since we're really in season, practicing, doing all those things, we're operating under the existing contract really good. One of the things that the fans should really understand is that 9 times out of 10, we're going to find a way to make sure things are going to get done sooner than later. But it's going to take a little bit of the process to happen when it comes to us and Dak Prescott and continuing talks regarding his contract, end quote. So let's be resigned to this fact, Myron Metcalf. Dak Prescott knows he's going to be a free agent unless Jerry Jones, as our boy Ian Fitzsimmons likes to say, unless he money whips him between now and game 1 against the Cleveland Browns to open up the season. Outside of that, Dak Prescott's like, look, I'll play for the money, but I know I'm going to get mine at a certain point, whether it's from you or from somebody else. This is all just negotiation ploy from Jerry Jones to control the narrative that has not worked well for him so far regarding Dak Prescott and CeeDee Lamb and ongoing contract talks part of these negotiations involving these two.
Yeah, but I think, he's kind of showing his hand a little bit. Like, at the end of the day, I still think deals are coming for both guys. And here's why.
I agree.
Jerry Jones could not stomach the idea of being an NFL afterthought. It's not just that he has the most valuable franchise in the NFL. It's the fact that we pay attention to Dallas, not just because it's Dallas, because they're always in play, right? They're always in the playoff hunt. They're relevant. And if you go end up with some rookie quarterback or some quarterback off the trade market, you get a Sam Darnold or someone like that, people aren't going to care about Dallas as much. With Dak and CeeDee Lamb, people care because those are 2 stars in this league, and it keeps the spotlight on Jerry Jones. So he's going to pay those guys because I don't think he can envision a world where he doesn't have that kind of spotlight on his franchise.
Yeah, no doubt about that. Also, continue what he had to say about the contract talks involving the Cowboys and Dak Prescott, and I quote, "These are existing contracts that you have in place. You should be able to operate under those, but we've gotten it now in the NFL. Other teams are dealing with it. With some time in the contract, you still might have a contract discussion, and that's what we're doing. None of us, player or team, want to hurt the preparation or likelihood of playing at your best," end quote. That's a softening from Jerry Jones. To your point, to back up what you said in terms of getting something done, because last week he was mouth almighty, tongue everlasting. Nobody knew what the hell he was saying. But he was trying to say whatever it needed to say, like, we're trying, but we got parameters. Not even 4 days later, he's basically saying we're in the same position as everybody else, but none of us, player or team, want to hurt the preparation or likelihood of playing at your best. Someone has got next to Jerry Jones to say, this is not flying in the locker room. This is not flying well in the locker room. The last thing you want is players versus you when it comes to the Dallas Cowboys, because they'll play for each other, but they're going to play individually, and it's not going to benefit you. I wonder maybe if Stephen Jones, Jerry Jones' wife, the grandkiddies, whoever. When I read something like that, Myron Metcalf, somebody got next to Jerry Jones to say, if you're going to talk, tell the truth. If you're not going to tell the truth, shut the bleep up, because you're not helping anybody by having this word salad that you're constantly throwing out there to control the narrative involving Dak Prescott and CeeDee Lamb.
No, I'm sure there are some people behind the scenes, Freddie, who are saying, how does this help us, right? Like, at the end of the day, where does Jerry Jones go from here? If you lose Dak Prescott, who do you get? Okay, maybe there's a quarterback in this draft. It won't be Dak Prescott level. Like, they won't be as good as him. Where do you go without CeeDee Lamb? He's one of, to me, the 2 or 3 best receivers in the entire league. So there just aren't many options or alternatives for Jerry Jones. And to me, Freddie, he sounds like a guy who is beginning to understand that. Like, I don't have anywhere else to go.
Right.
And it's frustrating that these guys won't just take the deal, because he knows the only way for them to take these deals is to pay them the money that they want. But that's going to be the end result here.
Yeah, but to that point, why would it take this long? Why would you think that kind of game plan what's going to benefit you. It should not have taken Jerry Jones August 20th to realize that. That should have been realized long before we got to training camp. Hell, that should have been recognized long before we got to OTAs. Why would you wait to have contract dialogue and contract discussions literally right before training camp when you knew exactly that CeeDee Lamb was not at OTAs? He let it be known, I'm going to hold out. I'm not going to pay for I'm not going to play for the kind of money that you want, especially the minute that Justin Jefferson put his Justin Jefferson under contract and got that kind of money from the Minnesota Vikings, or that Jared Goff got that money from the Detroit Lions, or Tua from Miami, or Trevor from Jacksonville, or any other quarterback that signed in the offseason not named Dak Prescott. Why did Jerry Jones believe I'm going to compromise this team in training camp and not have guys really football ready at the beginning of the year by doing something like this? It should not have taken until August 20th for Jerry Jones to realize that, or for somebody to say, hey, here's the Cowboys, last year. Here's the Cowboys this year. That's what that's going to look like. You keep fooling around with contracts involving two players you really need when it comes to Dak Prescott and CeeDee Lamb.
Well, because it's Dallas, Freddie.
Yeah.
It's not August 20th down there. It's June 11th or something. They don't have our calendar. They don't have 7 days a week, I don't think, in Jerry Jones's mind. They are operating on a completely different wavelength for everything that they have ever done. So I actually blame us, Freddie, when we're surprised that Jerry Jones does something like this.
That is very true. He's on that Gregorian Jerry Jones calendar. I don't want to.
He might be using the Mayan calendar for all we know. I don't know what Jerry Jones is using. It's not our calendar in the way that we see the world.
Either way, that's Jerry Jones with the Gregorian monks. I don't want to pay Dak Prescott yet. CeeDee Lamb's going to get his money. Make sure that Jerry Jones gets all the credit. You're probably right. They're on their own kind of calendar. I don't know what came over me. I had a momentary lapse of reason.
He better get with Cash Money Records and realize he got to pay these guys what they're due.
Oh, my goodness.
Better call Baby and Lil Wayne.
Stop trying to be big, the big timers. Leave that to them. Not when it comes to Jerry Jones and his contract negotiations with the Dallas Cowboys. He's Myron Metcalf and Harry Douglas. I'm Freddie Coleman. Thanks for joining us on Freddie and Harry. And you know that Alabama football makes a lot of money. Here are two more reasons why maybe that's too much money involving Alabama football. This is ESPN Radio and the ESPN app.
College football lives here. From kickoff of Week 1, August 24th.
It's going to be a 60-minute slugfest.
To the new 12-team playoff starting December 20th.
This is college football as good as it gets.
To the national championship game January 20th. The college football season is coming to ESPN Radio.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same but is 95% cheaper? And you can get it online at hims.com/joy. Through Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation to determine the ED medication that's best for you. Discreet shipping if prescribed, a 100% online process, and a range of treatment options, including trusted generic alternatives to the name brands, at up to 95% off. ED is personal, and at Hims, so is treating it. Just go to hims.com/joy and get connected to a licensed medical provider online for free. With zero copay, no expensive appointments, and no awkward face-to-face conversations. To start your free online visit, you need to go to this exclusive address, hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit. HIMS.com/JOY.
You found Cincinnati's ESPN 1530.
Hey, if you're listening to me right now, I have one thing every business needs most: attention. Think about it. We swipe and scroll past stuff all day, but when we're driving, cooking, working out, we're also listening. That's the magic of audio at iHeart. We're in your next customer's ears while they're living life and listening, just like you are right now. So get your customers to listen up today using radio, digital, and podcasts. Call 844-ADD-HELP-5. That's 844-ADD-HELP-5.
When you don't compromise on the court, you shouldn't compromise off of it either. Lose the calories, not the taste. Michelob Ultra, superior light beer. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri. Copyright 2024.
I'm John Walzak, host of the new podcast, Missing in Arizona.
And I'm Robert Fisher, one of the most wanted men in the world.
We cloned his voice using AI. In 2001,
Police say I killed my family and rigged my house to explode.
before escaping into the wilderness.
Police believe he is alive.
Join me
I'm going down in the cave.
as I track down clues.
I'm going to call the police and have you removed.
Hunting.
One of the most dangerous fugitives in the world.
Robert Fisher.
Do you recognize my voice?
Listen on America's #1 podcast network, iHeart. Open your free iHeart app and search Missing in Arizona.
Do you have an idea for an invention or new product and don't know what to do next? Inventors. InventHelp can help you get started with your idea. Call 1-800-INVENTION or go to inventhelp.com to get your free inventors information. They can help you try to patent your idea and submit it to companies. Get started with your idea today at inventhelp.com. InventHelp is the leading invention service company. With offices nationwide, they've been helping inventors since 1984. Inventors receive more than 10,000 patents through their patent referral services. Don't wait to get started with your idea. For free information, contact your friends at InventHelp. Go to inventhelp.com or call 1-800-INVENTION. That's inventhelp.com or call 1-800-INVENTION. They help everyday inventors just like you. Additional services include invention websites, prototype models, technical drawings, and more. They keep your idea confidential and explain every step of their invention services. Remember, that's inventhelp.com. InventHelp.com.
Veterans, did you know VA mortgage rates have plummeted and you can now access up to 100% of your home's equity and turn that into cash right now? Hey, it's Roger Moore, President and CEO of Loan Pronto, announcing our VA Equity Advantage program. This VA offer can get you $50,000, $70,000, $100,000 cash out with no junk fees and no hassle. With APRs in the 5s, you can pay off all those credit cards, personal loans, car loans, and get one easy-to-manage payment. Veterans we help save on average $850 per month. And listen, if you're a veteran with a current mortgage rate over 6.25%, we can do a streamlined refinance with no income verification and no appraisal, saving you hundreds a month. At Loan Pronto, we respect what you've done for our country, and we show it. Call now and ask about our special VA Equity Advantage program. 513-800-1550. 513-800-1550. LoanPronto.com. 513-800-1550.
Equal Housing Lender. NMLS 166-1781. Subject to lender approval. NMLS ConsumerAccess.org.
Are you paying too much for term life insurance? There's a tremendous price war in term life. Industry rates have dropped dramatically in the past few years. For example, a man aged 45, non-smoker, can get $1 million of coverage for $75 per month, level rate for 10 years. Or a man aged 50, non-smoker, can obtain $500,000 of coverage for a monthly premium of $110 level rate for 20 years. That's right, guaranteed level rate for 20 years. If you're a smoker, we have great rates available for you as well. At Term Busters, we specialize in policies of $500,000 and above. If you're looking for new or replacement term life insurance, call for a free quote today. 800-200-2250. That's 800-200-2250. Don't wait. Call 800-200-2250. 800-200-2250. Sample rate quotes based on preferred non-smoker rate class. Exam required to qualify.
Meet Cheryl. Hey. She's on vacation and lost in the moment. Unfortunately, so is her Chase debit card.
It's gotta be somewhere.
Maybe she lost it at salsa night.
These skirts should have pockets.
Or maybe she lost it at Pilates.
3 and 2 and...
But she's not worried. With the Chase mobile app, she can lock her card till it turns up. Tools that help protect. One bank that puts you in control. Visit chase.com/checking. Chase, make more of what's yours.
Chase mobile app is available for select mobile devices. Message and data rates may apply. JP Morgan Chase Bank, N.A. member FDIC.
This is an ESPN 1530 Orange and Black season preview. Sponsored by Jake Sweeney Automotive, serving the tri-state for over 100 years. Plumtight Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Drains. Visit plumtight.com. Now, your host, Mo Egger.
Any real championship hopes the Bengals had last season went down in flames last November when Joe Burrow suffered a season-ending wrist injury while playing in Baltimore on Thursday Night Football. Almost exactly 1 year later, Burrow and the Bengals are scheduled to play the Ravens again on a Thursday in a primetime Week 10 battle that will go a long way toward shaping the AFC North race. Lamar Jackson led the Ravens to 2 wins over Cincinnati last season, and this year the Bengals will not only have to slow down the reigning MVP, but also running back Derrick Henry, who had a big game against the Bengals last season while playing for the Tennessee Titans. It'll be a massive primetime AFC North showdown when the Bengals play the Ravens in Baltimore on Thursday night, November the 7th.
Mo has more on ESPN 1530, the official home of the Bengals.
Plenty of things to keep you occupied. You cannot be counted on to know everything. Lucky for you, that's where Freddie and Myron come in.
They may not be the top stories of the day.
In other news.
But you need to be in the know. This is In Other News.
Well, how much money does Alabama, not athletics, but the University of Alabama have? This much. Off the football field, members of the Delta Zeta sorority live in a 17 million, 4,000 square foot home. I'm not making this up. A sorority has a sorority house that is worth $17 million, 40,000 square foot home with a grand staircase, a crystal chandelier, and a custom LED glass window displaying the group's logo. Maya Metcalf.
Wow. I mean, that's different, man. That is a different kind of money. $17 million for the sorority house? Like, who? Wow. That's a whole different thing, man. I mean, yeah, I don't know. I don't even know what to say with that. I think $17 million.
And by the way,
what does it have for $17 million?
Whatever they want.
Does it have, it better have something.
I'm looking at the picture.
Pools and
they have a blow dry bar. Seriously.
What?
You can
like a bunch of blow dryers?
A bunch of blow dryers. You can go out there that are gold plated, by the way, with seats and everything.
Necessary
at a sorority house. What is pledging? What is pledging like for this sorority?
You probably got to pay. It's probably like going to one of those churches that take up 3 offerings on a Sunday, right? It's like, hold on, didn't I just give $100? Okay.
When Delta Zeta has a building fund, they mean it.
Yeah, they got the real building fund. Didn't I just pay? Imagine being a kid, like a student struggling to pay tuition, and you walk by that. I'll be so mad. You know what I mean?
Can you imagine? You're a young lady and you're part of Delta Zeta sorority, and the parents come up for a week and, oh, honey, where do you live? There? No, that's where the president lives. No, that's where I live.
No, that's my house. Can you imagine you walking home from a party and you living off SpaghettiOs and hot dogs, and then you see that? I'd be furious. I'd be furious.
Don't all those sororities have like chefs too? Private chefs?
Yeah, they better. For $17 million.
They probably got Wolfgang Puck cooking them every night for dinner.
Yeah, I better have a personal, like a chef just for me, assigned to me personally.
They probably fly in lobster from Maine.
I mean, listen, I see those videos now, and I understand why they get so excited when they get named to that house.
God.
Yeah, like, man.
$17 million sorority house.
$17 million.
For Delta Zeta at the University of Alabama. Then there's this on the football field. I didn't realize that you can have a general manager in sports and college sports, but Alabama football does. His name is Courtney Morgan. Courtney has signed a 3-year contract to be the general manager of Alabama football. He's going to get paid $825,000 a year. Each year for 3 years.
It seems like they're serious about sports down there, Freddie. But I also think like that general manager position is actually becoming more and more popular. Yeah, it's going to become the norm for teams. You know what I mean?
So.
But $800,000, man.
I did not hear about that until I read that story today. That there's a general manager. And I guess he's been Washington's general manager because he left Washington to go with Kalen DeBoer, who used to be the Washington head coach, now taking over for Nick Saban. Isn't this country in an inflation?
That sounds like one of those jobs you give to your buddy.
Exactly.
Who got 2 strikes when you own a company, right? Like, he can't get a regular job. I'm going to make you general manager. You know what I mean?
Put it this way. He could literally go to the Delta Zeta sorority and ask for a loan, and they won't turn him away. Oh, you need some money, Courtney? No. We got you. Don't worry.
Yeah, they call him broke. Like broke people in the building.
You only make $800,000 a year. You can't even walk up on the steps here, boss. You better take that back to the football field.
That's our travel budget. Probably at that house.
We knew the Alabama football.
$17 million.
We knew the Alabama football is the poor side of town in Alabama.
I better be able to live there forever. I'm never leaving that house. $17 million.
Oh man,
I'll be there with my kids.
No doubt. Aaron Ian comes your way next with my Metcalf and Freddie Coleman. This has been Freddie and Harry on the mighty ESPN Radio. Take care. God bless. And as always, go Delta Zeta.
life insurance. Why are you putting it off? Can't afford it? Too much hassle? Think you don't need it? There's lots of excuses for putting off life insurance. But if you weren't there, who would pay the mortgage and other bills? With Ethos, you could be covered in 10 minutes and boom, family protected. Ethos, fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at getethos.com. That's getethos.com.
It would be the best story, not only in tennis, but maybe in sports.
We were just two young black girls playing in Compton. This is not normally how that story goes. I looked different. I played different. I was more emotional. I was better. I was stronger. I had muscle. I was something that no one had ever seen before, ever.
Stream the ESPN Plus original series, In the Arena, Serena Williams, presented by Morgan Stanley, now on ESPN Plus.
ESPN 1530. Cincinnati Sports Station.
And now another insurance story from
Smart Bunny. Smart Bunny.
Why is it raining inside?
It's not raining. Our upstairs neighbor tried to fix his own sink. It didn't go well. Now his broken pipes are flooding our apartment.
Oh, so we're just out of luck.
Nah, I got us renter's insurance from Smart Bunny. When we moved in, I downloaded the Smart Bunny app and got coverage in just 60 seconds.
It was that easy?
Seamless. I guess we're lucky to have it.
Seems more smart than lucky.
Well, I didn't want to toot my own horn.
Your horn is underwater anyway.
Get up to $100,000 of personal liability coverage and up to $40,000 of contents insurance with only a $250 deductible for as low as $15 a month. Hop on the Smart Bunny app now and grab some renter's insurance.
Oh, look, the ceiling is collapsing.
We're covered.
Smart Bunny Insurance.
Smart Bunny. Smart Bunny.
Your insurance super app. Insurance is sold by Smart Bunny Insurance Services and underwritten by various companies. Coverage exclusions and limitations may apply.
The storm is getting stronger. All the pieces are falling into place. It's the final tune-up before the regular season begins. The Bengals host the Indianapolis Colts on Thursday night, August 22nd at 8 p.m.
Bring your friends and enjoy pregame at the Banks. Then head to Paycor Stadium for a Thursday night party in the jungle.
Come rule the jungle with us. Good seats are still available for the Bengals-Colts game. For tickets, visit Bengals.com/tickets.
I was rear-ended on my way home from work. Now my back hurts.
The insurance company doesn't care.
Does anybody care?
At O'Connor, Achani & Levy, we do care. O'Connor, Achani & Levy, your trusted legal team.
Did you know you can get your prescriptions for less at your local pharmacy? You can with GoodRx. It's the free app that can save you money on your medications. Just search for your prescription, choose the pharmacy and the price that works best for you, and then show your GoodRx coupon to your pharmacist at the drop-off counter. GoodRx works at over 70,000 pharmacies, including Walmart, Rite Aid, and Walgreens, and it works whether you have insurance or not. It's easy to save. Next time you drop off your prescription, check GoodRx. To start saving today, go to GoodRx.com. GoodRx is not insurance.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today?
Gotta change my oil.
How about Valvoline Restore and Protect? It restores and protects your engine to run like new.
Get in zone.
It restores your engine to like factory clean?
And protects.
Get in zone.
So Valvoline Restore and Protect restores and protects.
Now you can get 5 quarts with an STP extended life oil filter for $37.99.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
From the ESPN 1530 studio. Built by Madewell Restoration. Make sure your home's exterior is made well. Visit MadewellRestoration.com. This is 1530 WCKY, the 50,000-watt orange and black home of the Cincinnati Bengals. Cincinnati's ESPN 1530.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Nick DeLuca. The NFL preseason wearing on. Teams are getting tired of seeing their own uniform at practice. Dolphins quarterback Tua Tagovailoa taking a shot at another team. Former head coach Brian Flores after an uneven couple years. Now Vikings defensive coordinator responding today.
That hit me in a way that I wouldn't say was positive for me. But at the same time, I've got to use that and say, hey, how can I grow from that? How can I be better? And that's really where I'm at from that standpoint. Do I feel like that's me? No.
Flores 24-25 in his 3 seasons as Dolphins head coach. Meanwhile, in tennis, world number 1 Jannik Sinner avoiding a suspension after testing positive for an anabolic steroid twice. Tennis Integrity Agency determined that the banned substance entered his system unintentionally through a massage. Sinner won the Cincinnati Open yesterday, and a favorite in the U.S. Open beginning next week will lose $325,000 and 400 points earned from winning. Tuesday night baseball underway, starting with a crowded NL wildcard race. D-backs have won 7 of 10, trail the Padres by a game for the top wildcard spot. 3 games in front of the Braves for the third and final playoff spot. They're in Miami tonight and have taken a 1-0 lead into the top of the 2nd inning. Jock Peterson with an RBI single. Edward Cabrera on the mound for the Marlins.
Hey, it's your resident Super Bowl champ, Chris Candy. Coming on Wednesday, we'll continue to react to Tua's interview. Plus, I can't wait to hear how Dolphins fans try to defend him this time. It's Unsportsmanlike, 6 a.m. Eastern, right here on ESPN Radio, ESPN2, and ESPNU.
Dallas, Texas.
I'm ready. How about them Cowboys?
To you. This is Amber and Ian on ESPN Radio, the ESPN app, and on Sirius XM Channel 80.
Yesterday, Tua Tagovailoa eviscerated his former head coach in Brian Flores. Today, Brian Flores responded. You'll hear from Brian Flores, defensive coordinator of Minnesota Vikings, coming up in just a moment. Aaron Rodgers also said what about Jets training camp? You don't want to miss this one from the guy who used to wear 12, now wearing 8. With Jordan Ronan in for Amber Wilson, I'm Ian Fitzsimmons here on ESPN Radio, the ESPN app, Sirius XM Channel 80. Thank you for spending part of your time, evening or afternoon, wherever you might be with us. And before we get to the NFL, Jordan, watching the Little League World Series right now. Okay. It's Cuba and Mexico, and I love the Little League World Series. And our broadcast team, whether it's Monaco and the boys or Julie Foudy and Kirkchin and Ravitch, it is absolutely awesome. But I also
Frazier on my screen right now.
Here we go. Come on with it, man. So,
Jersey.
But did you check out the right fielder for Cuba?
No, I haven't. But by you saying this, I'm thinking he's like 6'3", 230.
This guy's got a 401k. I mean, he's got full-on facial. I mean, a full-on stash. Can we please check and see if he has offspring? I mean, there is no way this dude is like under 17, much less like 13 or 12. I mean,
is it me or does everybody seem to have gotten bigger like for this field over the years? Like I remember, like when we were younger, when I was a kid or when I was growing up, nobody hit homers. Now it's like these kids are like way too big for the field, half of them.
Yeah, and who was the guy from Jersey? Danny
Almonte?
Danny Almonte, right?
I almost brought him up. I don't want to make that accusation against this kid. But yeah, Danny Almonte I think they were from the Bronx, actually.
This dude, the right fielder for Cuba, makes Danny Almonte look of age. There you go. All right, that's just saying, not saying. Might want to check that dude's birth certificate because he may have offspring of his own. But anyway, now back to our regularly scheduled program. What was your reaction when you saw Tua just absolutely blast Brian Flores, calling him a terrible person? And the biggest difference between Mike McDaniel will love up on you and actually coach you up. Flores just mother rude you the entire time, every day and every waking hour.
Yeah, you know what I thought, Ian, when I heard that? I thought, okay, here's a quarterback who just got paid a lot of money. And now he finally feels comfortable enough in his skin because he's got that contract finally. He doesn't have to worry about that. He can spill his truth, right? He feels free. He feels like the shackles have been taken off. I am now set for life. I have the freedom to speak as I please on this situation. And we all knew what was going on at the time, right? Everybody knew that Brian Flores wasn't a big fan. There was a split. The general manager wanted Tua. Brian Flores, I believe, wanted Herbert, right?
Correct.
And once you have the quarterback, you can't just retroactively go get Justin Herbert. That's he ends up as easy collateral damage. And obviously Tua did not like it. But you know what? I like when players speak their truth. He took it all those years. Tua. And he took the public beating. He was the one who basically remember the narrative about Tua was really people were down on Tua.
Oh yeah.
And Flores would basically just make little comments and pile on.
Yeah, I mean, the first 2 years it was rough, and now we know kind of we're going old school radio and Paul Harvey. Now we know the rest of the story because.
But I want to hear Brian Flores' response.
Well, he spoke today, and here's a short snippet of about a 2-minute answer where he kind of meandered for a while. Here's right. That's about it. Here's Flores responding to Tua, calling him a terrible person.
That hit me in a way that I wouldn't say was positive for me, but at the same time, I've got to use that and say, hey, how can I grow from that? How can I be better? And that's really where I'm at from that standpoint. Do I feel like that's me? No, but how can I grow from that situation and create a world where that's not the case that anyone says that about Brian Flores?
He went on to, outside of referring to himself in third person, say, it made me look inward, and I hope I've grown from that and learned from that. Coaches, you have to handle players. I don't care if it's high school, college, or the NFL. A lot of players, you have to handle their individuals. You have to handle them differently. And that's something Flores rode Tua into the ground. And now you're hearing
another Belichick tree guy.
Yeah, look, not everybody's got 12, and not everybody's the hoodie. And Amber,
that's the thing. They don't realize that you can't just do that to guys the same way Bill Belichick does it to guys because you don't have that clout. I've seen it multiple times.
Matt Patricia lost the Detroit Lions in his first 90 seconds as a head coach in his first team meeting. Well, a former Detroit Lion who was on that team told me when he walked in, he said, "You know what I see in here? A bunch of losers. You know what I do? Win. I win Super Bowls." And this one particular player, I love the giggle right there, Jordan. This one player said he looked right at the dude that wears 9 at the time for the Detroit Lions, Matthew Stafford.
Mm-hmm.
And Stafford just started shaking his head. And at that moment, this dude told me when he lost the team, when he lose 9, he lost the team in the first 90 seconds of his first meeting by saying, all I do is win Super Bowls. No, you didn't. You were a part of it as a coordinator, but the hoodie and 12 did it. And all these Belichick guys, they think they can ride everybody, but you have to treat certain players differently. It's different personalities. That's something Flores obviously didn't do. He didn't like to. He tried to get Deshaun Watson to replace him, tried to get Tom Brady to replace him, and now he's having to be contrite and eat some serious crow that was deep fried for him.
Hey, when it doesn't work and you're in that situation, you got to handle the repercussions and the consequences. Now he's in damage control, right? That's what that quote right there was for him, is he's got to now fix his public perception if he wants to be a head coach again. And here, you tell me about this too. When I hear this and I go back and forth, and I've covered a lot of coaches, you have as well. Coaches in general, and you know this from, family experience, coaches in general are they live a strange existence. Right?
Understatement of the year.
You'd be surprised at how few of these guys have people skills. Like, I always wonder, these head coaches, they almost, half of them can't operate in social settings. They, have no social awareness. It's really unbelievable. I'm stunned at how often I see it. And, and then you hear Brian Flores being like, well, I didn't view myself like that. Well, you know what? A lot of times the perception of you among other people is what you are. And even if it's not, that's what other people around you were thinking. And so that's a problem. So he really does have to probably look internally to see how he fixes that, because he did some things that obviously got under Tua's skin, whether he meant to or not.
No doubt. And you just reminded me of a scene from a classic movie, Almost Famous. Do you remember that?
Love that
movie. It's phenomenal. One of the best soundtracks ever known to mankind, based on a true story on Cameron Crowe, right? I think he was touring with the Allman Brothers or Leonard Skinner or whatever it was. If you haven't seen Almost Famous, go check it out. But when he writes the true story, and Russell Hammond and the band Stillwater are just now going, oh my gosh, he told everything. He wrote everything.
Right.
Russell Hammond, the star guitarist in the movie, goes, maybe we just don't see ourselves the way everyone else does. That is Brian Flores. That's a lot of people in the coaching community, to your point. They see themselves one way, especially Flores, at the time when he was the Miami Dolphins head coach, and that ain't the way that Tua saw him or the way he treated Tua Tagovailoa.
Yeah, but you know what? I'll say this about Brian Flores. He probably was right. I mean, I like Tua. He's a good player. I'd probably rather have Justin Herbert. Yeah, just me.
All Tua did
Good
last
player.
year was lead the
Very
NFL
rich.
in passing yards and be top 5 in touchdown passes, top 5 in completion percentage, right around 70%.
Yeah.
But,
that's the bottom line. You have to
day,
make it work. Once you have him, you got to make it work. That's the
and that's what Mike McDaniel has done.
You don't hold the grudge afterwards. You get over it because they've hitched their wagon to Tua at that point. So you got to make the best of the situation, not make it worse. And he obviously did. And now he has to suffer the consequences.
And now he's in damage control, trying to repair his image, because obviously he wants to be, at some point, a head coach again. He's Jordan Ronan, covers the NFL, the Giants for us on ESPN. He's an NFL insider. I'm Ian Fitzsimmons. Coming up, Aaron Rodgers said something that was very curious today about Jets training camp. You'll hear it right here on ESPN Radio.
16 days until the NFL's opening night.
We get a chance to do it 3 times in a row.
The countdown to kickoff rolls on.
How do you get excited for that, baby?
Right here on ESPN Radio.
Texting enrolls you into recurring automated text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
Hey, Dan, how you doing? Haven't seen you around the gym for a while.
Yeah, I've really fallen off. Since I turned 40, I just don't get the results I used to get.
Could be lower testosterone.
Lower T?
Yeah, I went through it a while back. Once you hit 40, your body has less free testosterone. I got Nugenix Total T, and it's made a huge difference for me.
I've seen that ad on TV. Is it for real?
Oh, yeah. The key ingredient is something called Testanor, which helps boost free and total testosterone levels to help you trim up and stay lean.
And it's made a difference for you?
Man, I feel like I'm in my 20s again, at work, in the gym, and in the bedroom.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles for people to try it for themselves?
Yeah, you just need to send them a text.
Text SIZZLE to 42424 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T, the #1 selling testosterone booster at GNC. Plus, text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo, our most powerful fat incinerator ever, to help you get back into shape fast. Absolutely free. Text SIZZLE to 42424. That's SIZZLE to 42424.
ESPN 1530.
Summer was fun. It was great, wasn't it? But it's time to get your home fresh and clean for the fall. Call Zerorez Carpet and order cleaning today. And mention me, Bill Cunningham, the Great American, to get a free hallway clean with 3 rooms of carpet for only $129, the best deal of the year. Book online at ZerorezCincy.com. Spell it backwards or forwards. Believe the Great American. It's the right way to clean. ZerorezCincy.com.
Come get your Skyline float. Skyline float? That's right. Skyline now has ice cream floats. For a limited time, get a delicious ice cream float made with red cream root beer or any Coke product. Available right now at participating Skyline restaurants for a limited time.
Hey there. What's for dinner tonight? Takeout? Again. Remember your last order. Soggy fries with a side of $12 fees plus the 1-hour delivery time? You can do better. Get Factor's fresh, chef-crafted meals delivered right to your door, all ready in just 2 minutes. Try a mouth-watering shredded chicken taco bowl or creamy tomato and goat cheese chicken cavatappi. I know what you're thinking. Could dinner really be this easy? With Factor, it's always this easy. Factor. Fresh, never frozen meals in 2 minutes.
To get people excited about Boost Mobile's new nationwide 5G network, we're offering unlimited talk, text, and data for $25 a month.
Forever.
Even if you have a baby.
Even if your baby has a baby.
Even if you grow old and wrinkly and you start repeating yourself.
Even if you start repeating yourself.
Even if you're on your deathbed and you need to make one last call.
Or text.
Right, or text. The long-lost son you abandoned at birth.
You'll still get unlimited talk, text, and data for just $25 a month with Boost Mobile. Forever.
After 30 gigabytes, customers may experience slower speeds. Customers will pay $25 a month as long as they remain active on the Boost Unlimited plan.
Forever.
ESPN 1530 Cincinnati. Available everywhere with the iHeartRadio app. Now #1 for podcasting. ESPN 1530, an iHeartRadio station.
reporters today after Jets practice. Another day at Jets training camp. Quote, I would say the camp is much harder this year and maybe the hardest in the last 7 or 8 years of my career. Quote, end quote. It ain't Camp Cupcake up there with Robert Salo. With Jordan Ronan in for Amber Wilson. I'm Ian Fitzsimmons here on ESPN.
I'll be there tomorrow, by the way, Ian.
Dude,
I will be there. Joint practice, Giants, Jets at the Jets facility tomorrow.
Let me get it. Hold on a minute. Not a full timeout. A little 20-second, right? Check with me here at the line of scrimmage. What do we got, man? So, how awesome is it? I can imagine they share the same facility. Jets, Giants, one day
stadium.
only.
Share the same stadium, not facility.
Well, whatever. Yeah,
they have different practice facilities. Just making it clear.
All right, there we go.
Making it clear.
What do we got? What are you looking most forward to? Because I know what I would have. I'd be in tune to Neighbors, Sauce Gardner. Let's see what the rookies got.
I mean, that's it. I mean, I'm going to be there the whole time. I want to see what Malik Neighbors can do against one of the top cornerbacks in the NFL. My buddy who covers both teams, Connor Hughes, who works for SNY, does a great job covering both teams. He always tells us, he tells us when I go over to Jets, your eyes are kind of affixed to Sauce Gardner and Garrett Wilson every day. Like the two of them just go at it all the time. And so that's what I'm kind of looking forward to in Malik Neighbors here. And it's like, okay, I already can realize this guy's going to be really good. He could do some special things. Now let's see how he handles going up against one of the best cornerbacks in the league. So that'll be fun. Joint practices are great.
I love them.
Yeah. They're like, they have like that, almost like, you know how college scrimmages are like super intense. Like it's like a full out game. They're going 100% against each other. That's what joint practices feel like. It's a different environment than just a normal NFL practice. Normal NFL practice is boring.
Yeah, and here's like people always talk about the fights and whatnot. Think about it. You're going up against a teammate all the damn time. Now you got joint practices, and you've kind of got all that frustration bottled up, and the first extra shove or the first, mother-roo that you get, you're going to unleash hell on somebody.
And most coaches don't care.
No, hell no.
They don't care.
They want the intensity.
Yeah.
So that's been a part of joint practices from day one, and it will be a part of joint practices forever going forward. Over under on fights tomorrow, at least pushing and shoving. I'm going to go 1.5. 1.5, at least pushing and shoving.
Yeah, it'll be over that because that's a low number for it. But it's under 4 definitely, because the last time the Giants had joint practice with the Detroit Lions, the league fined each team $200,000. So when the owner has to take money out of his pocket and pay the league, at that point it trickles down. That's when the owner says to the coach, "Hey, you think maybe we cannot, waste $200,000 here? Like, I get you want to be physical, fine, but like, I don't really want to pay." When you talk about, yeah, exactly. Right. There we go. Once it comes down to money, things change. So all of a sudden, there might be some pushing and shoving. There won't be full-fledged fighting.
We won't see helmets being thrown around by the Jets
no
or
punches,
Giants,
which is a stupid thing anyway.
Oh, it's so dumb. Or even closed fist punching somebody with a helmet on. Use your head.
Yeah.
Go for the gun.
But I'm curious to see Rodgers too. Nobody's seen much of Aaron Rodgers these last 2 years, unless you're going to Jets practices regularly, unless you watch those 4 snaps he lasted last season. So I'm curious to see. There is a question, and I think it's a valid question, about whether Aaron Rodgers is still the Aaron Rodgers that we know of him, right? He's in his 40s. He's 40, right?
Yeah, coming off an Achilles.
Coming off Achilles, that's not easy.
What's your thought covering the league as long as you have when you hear a guy like Aaron Rodgers saying that this has been the hardest camp physically in the last 7 or 8 years of my career?
That's what comes to my mind. Are they actually working that much harder? Or is it harder for him because he's getting older and his body is different at this point? He's coming off a torn Achilles. That's what goes through my head, because the NFL limits the amount you can practice. You can only go out there for X amount of days in a row, right? The Giants actually don't practice, and most teams go at least 4. But the Giants only go out 3 days in a row. They're never more than 3 days in a row. There's always a day off. They go 2 days off after games. Most teams don't, have 1 day. But so there's limitations. So this isn't like 2 days like you're used to, Ian.
Yeah,
so
no doubt.
I'm kind of curious why he says that. Maybe it's just more live drills, more live periods than there had been in the past.
He went on to say there are a lot of different schools of thoughts when it comes to training camp. He said, quote, "Some of the older players are enjoying to steal a coaching word, the callous part of training camp when you're grinding. Some people believe that although it puts more strain on you, in training camp, it actually gets you more ready to play when the season starts. And some people believe the opposite. You know how it goes. Whatever teams are having success, people kind of look at their schedule and go, all right, let's try that. Quote, end quote, from Aaron Rodgers.
You know what's funny? And you'll understand this because you're really close to the college game. Every player, like to a man that I've talked to over the last 5-10 years, they all say, like, they come to the NFL like, man, practices are nothing. They're nothing compared to college. College was way harder practices, longer, to work them harder than the NFL practices. So it makes me wonder about Aaron Rodgers. Is it starting to get to him a little bit because he's, 40-year-old Aaron Rodgers?
Well, I went on to say he's got no preference as to, whether it's, getting after it and having the ones go V1s or the soft, for lack of a better term, the softer side, but he still hadn't taken a hit.
Yeah, probably.
You might want to get that out of the
jersey
way,
then,
right?
Aaron.
You might want to go ahead and get hit before week 1 against San Francisco.
Yeah, well, there's the debate right now about whether Aaron Rodgers should play in the preseason. Where do you stand on that? Because he kind of wants to, but I don't think the Jets really want to play him.
Well, he kind of talked about that. He said, if Saleh wants us to play, then we will. I don't know what he told you guys, but we haven't been told anything yet. Most of these practices have been first-team heavy, he said. So, look, for me, yeah, I would want him to take that first hit and get that confidence and be able to trust that Achilles. I don't care how many times you've been hurt or how many snaps you've taken or how many times you've been hit in the NFL. You still have to have that in the back of your head, and you still have to go and be able to trust it. So, me, I wouldn't mind seeing him get at least two series coming up on Saturday. What do you think?
Yeah, I think maybe I would do one series. Just like it's a little different when you can get hit and you're standing back there and you're not wearing a red jersey. Just to sort of, your body's moving at a different speed. You're moving at a different intensity level, knowing you can get hit or are about to get hit. So I think it would be good to get a little something. At the same time, I don't know. I also wonder, like, if you get hurt in the preseason. In the regular season in week 1, it probably would have just happened in the preseason or could, it's going to happen anyway.
You get hurt walking your dog.
Yeah. Dave Gettleman used to say those kind of things. Who knows? I could get hit by a car. I might not be here tomorrow. And you were just like, huh?
I was just quoting an old movie called Heat with Al Pacino and Robert De Niro. You can get hurt walking your doggy.
But, yeah, I don't know. I go back and forth on this. I don't think it's that important to play in the preseason anymore.
He's Jordan Ron on NFL Insider for us here at ESPN. I'm Ian Fitzsimmons. You're on Amber and Ian on ESPN Radio. Aaron also sat down with Barton Hahn on ESPN New York, and he was posed the question, how much of a chip do you have on your shoulder coming into this campaign? Here's what he said.
I think it all motivates me. But there's goals. The goal is to play all 17 regular season games. I think that's the first and foremost, whether you're 21 or 40. Obviously, it's a little bit easier at 21, but that's the first and foremost goal because the best ability you can have is availability. So I want to be out there all 17 regular season weeks. I feel like if I am the kind of team that we have, we're going to be in real good shape come late December and early January. And then there's obviously other goals and motivation. Yeah, you draw it from certain sources. The best players are self-motivated, though. You don't need that motivation from somebody else because I think, we have inspiration for sure from some of those comments or other people or fighting back against Father Time, but you have to be self-motivated to last in this league, and I have enough motivation without any other comments that are said out there.
Yeah, Aaron Rodgers wants to prove everyone wrong. That's what I take from that. I don't know what you think. He's absolutely hears everything everybody says. He goes on the McAfee show. He's been responding for a year. He wants to prove everybody wrong. He's still commenting about, COVID and the shot and everything. Dude, he has a huge chip on his shoulder.
I could not agree more. He and like LeBron James was that way. It is that way, where maybe not as much now in this part of his career, but LeBron 4 or 5 years ago, going back to the last probably 15 of his career, he would hear everything. He had rabbit ear, and he would take it, internalize it, and then unleash hell upon you with it.
Yeah,
right. Aaron is very similar, except for the last part, because that wasn't happening the last couple of years in Green Bay. That's where I'm fascinated to see when you have a top 5 defense on one side, right? And then you've got, if you have the quarterback, what's the O-line look like? And how is he going to be able to do what he wants to do? And that is give us all not 1, but 2 football fingers.
So Odell Beckham Jr. used to always say, I've been an underdog all my life. Everyone's always overlooked me. And I'm like, you went to Eli and Peyton's high school. You were at LSU. Were the 12th. Like, when the heck were you the underdog? But guys like that, the guys that are the best in their profession, look at Tom Brady, look at Kobe Bryant, look at all these guys, the great players, a lot of them, that's how they self-motivate. They have this chip on their shoulder, constant. It doesn't matter how good they are. Aaron Rodgers is clearly, in my mind, in that camp. And that's why I'm so intrigued, and I want to see if he can hold up physically. Because if he does, with that chip on his shoulder, I know he can have a monster year.
He's Jordan Ron, I'm Ian Fitzsimmons. We switch gears a little bit. One of the best handicappers we know gives you his best bets and when it comes to win totals for college and pro football right here on ESPN Radio.
Hey, it's your resident Super Bowl champ, Chris Candy. Coming up Wednesday, we'll continue to react to Tua's interview. Plus, I can't wait to hear how Dolphins fans try to defend him this time. It's Unsportsmanlike, 6 a.m. Eastern, right here on ESPN Radio, ESPN2, and ESPNU.
If you have ever thought about remodeling your bathroom but were worried it would take too long or cost too much, then stop worrying. Right now, Jacuzzi Bath Remodel has designed a collection of high-quality custom products and perfected the one-day remodeling experience so you can enjoy your new bathroom faster than ever before. It's a worry-free bath remodel from the most trusted brand name in the business, Jacuzzi. A jacuzzi bath system fits in your existing tub space. It's a no-mess installation with an amazing style selection, factory-certified installers, and a limited lifetime warranty. Call 800-717-4599. That's 800-717-4599 right now and get 50% off installations with no interest and no payments for 12 months. Replace that old bathtub today with a walk-in shower for a safer bathing experience. If you have lived in your home for over 15 years, it's time to remodel your bathroom. For a virtual or in-home appointment, call 800-717-4599. That's 800-717-4599. 800-717-4599.
You found Cincinnati's ESPN 1530.
It's the Marketer's Report. Today, Erica Taylor, Chief Marketing Officer of Genentech, explains how audio is an ideal way for brands to tell their stories.
Everyone is listening somewhere, somehow. I think that there's something deep in all of us that enjoys listening to and telling stories. When I think about what we do here at Genentech, we do a lot to actually tell the broader story of our company and the legacy that we stand upon. 45 years marketing more than 40 medicines over that time period. And we celebrate that in story form, in audio format. It's a great way for people to learn more about what we offer and to be educated in an easy and convenient way.
As the #1 audio company, iHeartMedia gives marketers access to all. Every audience, live conversations, trusted influencers, and the insights and data you need to grow. Not just a media company. iHeartMedia is your access company. If you're a marketer, go to iHeartResults.com.
WEBN is bringing the boom with the Western and Southern WEBN fireworks. Thanks to Western and Southern Financial Group, Turfway Park Racing and Gaming, Delta Dental, Tri-State Kia Dealers, Johnstone Supply, the Grimmy Group, Verizon, Kroger, the Cincinnati Warbirds, Skyline, Hawksworth Blood Center. Boomsday is September 1st. We'll see you there.
With Progressive Snapshot, you could save on auto insurance rates by driving safely, which is great because you're rarely rewarded for just being you. Ever get rewarded for being left-handed? No. You get to use weird scissors. Your reward for being a Capricorn? Cold birthdays that conflict with the holidays. And your reward for quickly responding to every work email? More emails. But with Snapshot, even left-handed Capricorns with proper email etiquette could get rewarded for good driving. So download the Progressive app today. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates. Snapshot not available in all states or from all agents.
Mo Egger.
We've talked about this a lot.
He's got what you want.
Like, all right, who's the go-to guy going to be?
Interviews, his views, and your calls.
Go-to guy isn't the team's leading scorer.
Mo Egger, tomorrow at 3 on ESPN 1530.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Nick DeLuca. CeeDee Lamb still waiting on a deal. Cowboys star receiver continuing his holdout as he looks for a new contract. Owner and GM Jerry Jones says the two sides are having promising talks on an extension. Cowboys open the season September 8th against the Browns. And head coach Mike McCarthy says the team is ready to adjust to Lamb returning to Dallas.
We have a plan to work, each and every day.
and we make those adjustments accordingly. So, when CD does come back, we'll adjust and make sure that we're ready to go. But right now we're preparing the other guys.
Vikings receiver Justin Jefferson, the highest paid receiver at $35 million per season across the NFL. Cowboys reportedly made Lamb an offer to be the second highest paid. In tennis, world number one Jannik Sinner avoiding a suspension after testing positive for an anabolic steroid twice. Tennis Integrity Agency determined that the banned substance entered his system unintentionally through a massage. Sinner won the Cincinnati Open yesterday, a favorite in the U.S. Open beginning next week. Baseball underway tonight. Yankees and Guardians battling in a matchup of division leaders in the Bronx. Yankees have just a half-game lead over the Orioles in the AL East. They're off to a good start tonight.